Hello, everyone. This is a Jenkins Platform SIG meeting. Today, we're on December 17, 2024. And around the virtual table, we have Kevin Martins, Stefan Mel, and myself. Welcome. On the agenda today, I'll talk again about the end of support for Java 11. Then we'll talk a little bit about the latest container image updates for the controller and for the agents. There is not so much to talk about regarding the work in progress on images. Mark is not there, so I guess we won't talk about the 2+2+2 Java support plan. So let's get rid of that. And that's all that I had. Stefan, Kevin, would you have any other things you would like to add to the agenda?
Nothing for me.
That's fine. No. Yeah. No. Okay. Then let's get started. Is the text big enough, by the way? Yeah, cool. Thank you. So end of support for Java 11. So that has been the case since the latest LTS release, which is a 2.479.x. I know I talked about that at the beginning of December and also in November, but just in case you were living under a rock, now you know Jenkins does not support Java 11 anymore. So for the weeklies and of course for the LTS also. For the weeklies, it has been since 2.463, so that's quite a while. And the latest 79.1 dropped the support for Java 11 on October the 30th. The next version of this baseline of LTS has been released on November 27. The 2.479.3 release candidate has already been released, if I'm not mistaken, or should be released pretty soon. And the official release will be at the beginning of January, right, Stefan? Yeah, thank you. But I will put the correct date later on, not live. So Stefan, as a representative of the infra team, so you're willing to continue Java 11 for a while, but one of these days, maybe in 2026 or 2027, it won't be available on Jenkins infra anymore. So the end of life, the scheduled end of life is October 2027. So I guess we'll see on the infra Java 11 until that date, if it doesn't change, or would like to get rid of that before the end of life?
Depend of the usage, in fact. So we don't have any hurry to remove it, but we will have to, for now, we have to support the old case scenario, and infra is used everywhere. So we need to be very careful on that. But yes, we will get rid of it, but not right now.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And do you have a plan somewhere, a document that lists all the usages of Java 11, or we?
No.
Okay,
No.
we
That's
just
the main
remove
problem.
it, then hear people yelling.
That's
say,
what
"Oh,
we
it's
want
there."
to avoid. That's exactly what we want to avoid, and we will have to get a plan and to work on that. But whatsoever, we will have people complaining, probably, but we have to prepare it. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now onto a container image updates for the Jenkins controller. So as for the LTS, nothing new because nothing changed since the last version of this baseline for the LTS. And for the weekly, so we have the 2.489, which has seen only dependency updates, so a new version of Debian Bookworm and a new version of Alpine Linux. And as for the 2.490, it's not released yet. Maybe later today, so I don't have access to the changelog yet. Unless there is a trick, Stefan, to know about. No, there is no trick. I just have to wait, right? Okay, so if ever it's published,
you should ask Kevin instead of myself for that. I'm pretty
really for the container, no, because for the Jenkins itself, of course, I would have asked to Kevin. But as for the container version, the release, I don't know how the release notes are crafted.
I'm not sure I understand the question then. You mean
Um,
is
for the container, the weekly container, I
yes?
know Mark does that most of the time. He just clicks on something magical, and then we have.
It doesn't leak. You need to create
Oh, really?
a tag with annotation because with no annotation, there's the wrong date and time, and that trigger the build and the execution is running through and going through and publishing the the image. So right now it's not done because it seems that last time was there was a little hiccup, and they need to make sure that they release with the correct tag and then with the correct image. I'm pretty sure it will be done tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you. So I can see the content of the release notes for the time being. That's what I understood.
And that's why I was thinking more about. I'm sorry, Kevin. I thought that the release note were in your power, so it seems that I'm wrong. What you call the release note will probably be all the GitHub pull request made on that weekly. Is that right? I'm not sure of what are those notes.
Um, In fact, most of the time, when there is no other change than just switching the jar from last week to this week, the release note is just bump to the
Yep.
latest weekly version,
Got
and
it.
that's it.
So yeah,
So
no, I have no clue on how to get those information before the image is published. There's probably a trick somewhere if you
yeah,
if
I
I
could make a git log something, but yeah,
exactly.
I could have done so. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for the date regarding the 3.rc.
You're welcome.
Yep. So for the Jenkins agents now, we have one new release for the SSH agent, so the 6.5.0, only with dependency updates. Once again, Alpine Linux to the new version and the new version of Debian Bookworm Linux. As for the Docker agent, we have also a few bumps of Debian and Alpine update CLI that won't change anything on the developer side or even on the user side, because that's just something internal to the product. And the JQ command, it was just because we weren't tracking correctly the latest UB9 images. And now that has been fixed. Okay, that's a horrible hack, but it works for the time being. We even had a pull request today with the very last version of UB9 available that we will see next week, I guess, as a release for the Docker agent. And when it comes to work in progress on images, I only spotted one long-running pull request, which is optimized Debian Dockerfile, and the infra team has yet to review it because there are lots of things mixed within this PR, and maybe we should do several different PR that would address a more specific subject. So yes, it hasn't moved, and I don't think it will move soon. Just before we talk about um, Christmas, end of year, and so on, I just have one more subject, which is RISC-V. It's not official yet, and I think it will take at least a few months before Jenkins claimed that it supports RISC-V, but the tests I've made are pretty promising. So the Jenkins agent is working on RISC-V, same for the Jenkins controller. But I was up to now kind of stuck because I was using Fedora 38, which is a pretty old release, and it's not beautiful, by the way, because when you're running Jenkins on such an old version of Fedora, then there is a red banner saying, oh, you should not. Definitely, you should not upgrade your recent operating system. But I heard today that Alpine had a working distro for a few of the boards that I own. That means that I will be able to have a recent version of an operating system and then get rid of that limitation. And I even may be able to recompile Docker so that we would be able to test Docker containers for RISC-V in order to run Jenkins. But That's just what I'd love to do. We'll see if that works. In the end, you never know. Anything can happen. Whatever. That's even something we could bring with us at FOSDEM on the Jenkins booth. Because
I
yes,
was I
we're
was
going to.
thinking of that. Yes, that could be cool.
Yeah, that's for sure. I will bring the Fedora machine, even if that display a horrible banner. Not that the banner is horrible in itself, it's just because it's red, you know? No. Thank you to Jan or Tim or whoever did that banner. It's just about perfect. No, that's just the content, with a red alert saying something's not working. Well, that's not what we want to show to people at first,
We put a sticker on the banner.
Why not? So yeah, I'd like to have a controller with no operating system alert. That would be way better. But maybe I'm daydreaming because Alpine is a special distro. It's not using Lipsy as far as I know. It's using, how's it called? Muscle, I think. Sorry for the pronunciation. So I don't know. Maybe I have some problems recompiling Docker, or maybe I will have already a Docker binary. Okay, I'm still daydreaming, but I love that. Anyhow, we'll see. See you in FOSDEM, hopefully, with something glorious or something I should be ashamed of. We'll see. So Alpine is known to boot and run on a few machines owned by Bruno. Let's see. Okay, any feedback or question? Okay, so next meeting is supposed to take place on the 31st of December. But frankly, I think I will be busy eating salmon or cake or who knows what on the 31st. So yeah, we agreed that we would cancel it. And I think Mark has already deleted it from the official agenda, calendar from Jenkins. So all is good. If there is nothing else to address, let's wrap it up. The video should be available from 24 to 48 hours. And we should see each other sometimes in January. So around the 14th, I guess.
Should be the 14, yes.
Yeah, you're so good with dates. Wow.
With my calendar, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot. See you then, and until then, enjoy the end of the year. If you celebrate anything, yeah, just enjoy it. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
See you.